Welcome to JumpStart IT Academy. This is the How to Fast Track Your Tech Future course, Part 1, the 5 Levels of Tech Career Success. I am your instructor, Chris Johnson. I'm the lead tech success coach at JumpStart IT Academy, and we are going to deliver this course to you so that you can get an understanding of the tech industry, so that you can get an understanding of where you will fit in the tech industry and what you can do in the tech industry, all the opportunities that would be available to you. Now, what I want you to understand is this. The tech industry is a bus. Where you fit in is the seat, and the destination of where the bus is going should be where you want to go. So my job is to make sure you get on the right bus, the technology industry, get on the right seat, your career, and go to the right destination, which is success. That's why I'm your tech success coach. Now let's get started. Part 1, for 5 levels of tech career success. Level 1, industry foundation. This is where you understand how that tech industry works. Level 2 is general skills. This is where you gain working knowledge of general tech or non-tech skills or acquire general skills associated with a single skill that you choose to master. Level 3, specialization. This is where you would take a single skill and master it. You would laser focus on mastering a single skill or a non-tech skill. Level 4, industry contribution. Founding a tech startup company or growing an existing tech business for maintaining or increasing its growth, or investing capital into a tech institution or tech industry impacting organization, such as a venture capitalist. Level 5, charity, socially conscious contribution for the improvement of humanity. Essentially, level 1 is where you understand how the tech industry works. The way I describe it is, if you know how the industry works, you'll know how to work in the industry. Level 2 is the general skills. If you're a network engineer, for example, you would need to understand cloud computing. You would also need to understand systems such as Linux or Microsoft operating systems. Plus, you would need to understand security. These are the general skills that will help you when you're troubleshooting technology problems. The whole objective of being a technology professional is to solve technology problems. Therefore, troubleshooting is the bread and butter of our industry. If you know how to troubleshoot, you will be very valuable, but in order to troubleshoot, you need general skills. You need to be able to interface with other professionals, ask them questions based on your working knowledge of the general skills. Now, you would have a general skill of cloud computing, but you may be speaking to a cloud engineer who specializes in cloud computing, but you specialize in networking or network engineering. Now, you may not require your specialized skill, but you may require ask questions to the cloud engineer because they could be pointing to you and say the problem is the network. And so what troubleshooting skills and the understanding of having general skills and a specific or specialized skill allows you to rise above the fray, just in case tempers get heated and people start, performing the blame game in technology. You'll be able to skirt past those issues and just start focusing on a solution to the problem by finding the root cause and solving the root cause, or giving options to solve the root cause. Level 3, specialization. This is where I tell students that you want to be known for something. Burger King makes hamburgers, Pizza Hut makes pizza, and then I state their name and ask them, what do you make in the tech industry? Because that's how employers are going to view you, and that's what you want to be viewed for. So the specialized skill is what you're viewed for in the industry. Level 4 is the industry contribution. This is where you've already succeeded in your specialization, or you have enough capital to be able to start investing in tech companies or building tech companies. And essentially, you are an industry contributor. In other words, you are a leader, a thought leader. You are at the forefront and you're shaping the technology industry itself. Once someone has succeeded at level 4, industry contribution, usually they move over to level 5, which is charity, and they start taking their wealth and investing into others who may be valuable to the industry, such as someone who wants to increase their specialization skill at level 3, or someone who wants to build companies as an industry contributor in level 4. 5 levels of tech career success, levels 1 through 5. Let's break this down. 5 levels of tech career success. Level 1 is industry foundation. These professionals understand how the technology industry works and have the ability to successfully navigate the industry. They are resilient and continue thriving during a tech employment market upturn, downturn, or if a company downsizes or starts to lay off its staff. They have acquired the ability to reposition their tech career by choice or necessity due to a planned or unplanned change. These are people who change with change instead of being changed by change. In other words, These are the people who take the initiative to ensure that they understand how the industry works so that they can be useful in other areas should their area of opportunity dry up. Then they can create opportunities in other areas. These are people who are industrious, what I would call an entrepreneur, who knows how to create opportunities within an opportunity. Now, in the industry, you may have had opportunity, but you need to be able to find other opportunities in that industry. So you want to continue with your skill development. You also want to continue to make sure that your certifications, they're always up to date so that you can always continually be in demand. Level 2, general skills. These professionals understand basic functions of widely used general skills, i.e. cloud, security, project management, systems, cybersecurity, etc., positioning themselves for long-term opportunity to troubleshoot complex problems and remain employable. Also, they gain credibility with peers of other specializations and those in leadership. When you have general skills and you're in a heated discussion as far as troubleshooting a problem that may cost a company $1 million every hour, then you want to be cool-headed and you want to ask very inquisitive questions based on knowledge. Those general skills give you general knowledge, which allows you to communicate with other professionals who are specialized in certain areas. For example, network engineering. If you are a network engineer, you need to be able to communicate with the cloud engineers. You need to be able to communicate with the programmers. You need to be able to communicate with those who have other specialized skills to be able to extract information from them that they may not be able to unearth. But you may have a lens to be able to see their job in a different way than they can, because when they're inside of the bubble, they can't see themselves in the bubble. So they will start blaming others, or maybe unaware or ignorant that their specialization or area in the technology environment could be causing the problem. So it could be ignorance or it could just be ego. But you got to be able to decipher through those things, stay focused, and solve problems. And that is critical when you're troubleshooting, because troubleshooting is the bread and butter. And in order for you to leverage knowledge to be able to do that, you need to have that general knowledge through general skills. Level 3, specialization. These professionals understand and specialize in a specific technology skill or skill set in order to enhance their ability to make a high salary or expand tech career opportunities. Additionally, this professional understands how the industry works, knows the difference between a job and a career, has a clear career vision, or has honed in on an industry niche poised for strong future growth, and becomes a jack of all trades and master of one. This is that specialized skill that separates you from everyone else in the industry. When I was laid off of my job 15 years ago, what happened is I was left without any income, but nonetheless, I was able to go on unemployment. And instead of moving into another career, I stayed with my specialization. I was a network engineer. I just went to the library and I started investing in myself. And as I invested in myself, it took me a year, but nonetheless, I was able to get a job, and the trajectory of my career has been upward since that time period. So during a time where the market downturns, or there's a downsizing of your organization that you're working with, you want to be able to have a specialized skill. You want to be able to invest in that skill, and you want to be able to adjust when needed, because now network engineering didn't go away. It's just that the market slowed down and there wasn't demand for those who are specialized in that. But you want to have that specialized skill, because I call that specialized skill as the skill that pays the bills. Level 4, industry contribution. The tech professionals fortunate to reach this level of success in their tech career thrive on fulfilling their life's work or purpose. They usually seek to maximize their potential in all areas of their existence. These are go-getters. These are people who are hungry for success. They call these people very ambitious. These are people who are high achievers. Continue. Also, they tend to be selfless people who truly understand that legitimate success is in developing successors. Meaning these are people who understand that success is not about what you achieve, it's about who you help to achieve. Because in the end, what's going to happen is your legacy is not going to be what you achieved, it's going to be what you helped others achieve. These are valuable and influential human beings who start companies or develop other tech professionals or institutions and make a high impact in the tech industry. Level 5, charity. These are individuals of high character. They are considered trusted advisors who have a mark of great generosity. They choose to purposefully give their wealth, time, or knowledge to those who are in a genuine position of need. In addition, they usually transition or aim their passion of life towards giving back to others by counseling others who seek to build successful careers or who have already built organizations that need improvement with the help of a trusted advisor. These are people who have already distinguished themselves, not just in their industry, but pervasive to any other industry because they're usually at the level where they have such wealth or capital where they're so influential that they can shape the industry. And other industries that depend upon the tech industry would inquire of their expertise to help guide their decision makings. 5 pitfalls of skipping levels in your tech career, levels 1 through 5. Pitfall of skipping level 1, the industry foundation. Neglecting to understand how the industry works may cause you to be stranded should you experience a tech employment market downturn, or if a company downsizes and starts to lay off its staff. Now, I mentioned my example of me being in a situation where the company was downsizing or transitioning or moving away from, my services. But I also experienced the downturn of the dot-com bust. Now, that was a bubble that really destabilized the economy in America at that time in the early 2000s. But before that, when it was booming, I had about 10 interviews in one day. And yes, there were so many tech companies that were being built that there were so many tech professionals that were in demand. But when the economy bust or that tech bubble burst, what happened is that people were scurrying around looking for opportunities, and the people who weren't really in tech as people who were professionals and very serious about their career, they got weeded out. And what I did was I had understood how the industry works, so I just shifted to a network engineering contract and a system engineering contract because I had both skill sets. And I also started teaching at colleges, teaching Microsoft boot camps or Microsoft courses and Cisco boot camps and Cisco courses. And I also was able to blend that together as a means of an arc, if you will, to get through the storm as the waters were rising and the economy was just in a bad condition. And I was able to weather those economic storms, and I came out pristine. I came out really in a very good position. And afterwards, I had honed in on my skill set, which was to move and transition from system engineering to network engineering. And I became specialized in network engineering. And that's what I have been known for ever since. In these circumstances, the professional will find it difficult to reposition themselves in the employment marketplace. For example, these professionals tend to overlook the importance of keeping their certifications up to date. They usually believe if they have a job, they're good to go. So these are people who go into the industry thinking that once they have a job, they're in the industry, which is not true. Because once you're in the industry, you need to be fighting to stay in the industry. The way I describe success is that people who are successful, they fight to become successful for the right to work more than other people who aren't successful. So essentially, when you become successful, you're fighting for the right to be a servant of all. You want to serve with your skill or your gift more than anyone else. Because if you think about Bill Gates, or you think about, I know there's controversies around his name, but think about him in the context just of technology. He's so valuable in technology that he was of service to literally the whole world. And that's what you want to be. You want your skills to be usable and transferable, and you want people to be dependent upon it so that you can be considered indispensable, so that you don't have a problem with losing a job or an opportunity because you know that there's demand for your career skills. But in order for you to have that level of comfort and confidence and competence in technology, you need to understand the industry foundation. You need to know how the industry works. It just seems basic, but a lot of professionals in the industry today don't know how it works. And when they lose their job, if they've been in a position since they were an intern, and let's say they were in that company for 15 years, they're usually in a situation where they're in dire straits because they don't know what else or how they can be utilized in the industry besides their specific career. And it may take them time to build up their resume, start contacting recruiters and figuring out what they can do. But if they had already kept a pulse on the industry, like I did, I was working contracts as a network engineer, but I was also doing boot camps. So I already knew that if I got let go from a contract, I can just go do more boot camps or teach at a college. So I always made myself very useful in the technology industry because I knew how the industry works, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. Pitfall of skipping level 2, general skills. Neglect to understand basic functions of widely used general skills, i.e., cloud, security, project management, infrastructure, systems, cybersecurity, etc. In the long term, A, makes it difficult to troubleshoot complex problems, and may cause credibility issues with peers of other specializations, and or may cause someone to lose opportunities in the long run. A, makes it difficult to troubleshoot complex problems. If you don't have general skills, you're not going to be able to be a strong contributor during a troubleshooting process because you won't have the ability or the working knowledge to ask the right questions, to unearth knowledge from other experts. If you're a network engineer, you need to be able to know how to talk and ask questions to a cloud engineer. If you're a network engineer, you need to know how to ask questions to a security engineer, a project manager, someone who maintains the infrastructure, systems, cybersecurity. Because when all these professionals who specialize in their particular niche, when they're in a room and they're troubleshooting, egos can get involved. Also, people could be fear of losing their job, so some will be quiet. In these situations, you need to speak up. At least somebody that knows the 5 levels of tech career success, because you already developed the general skills that you need to feel confident, competent, courageous, and also you want to position yourself so that you can be looked upon, so that you can be indispensable. That means the companies don't want to let you go, and if they do, the industry doesn't want to let you go, so you can go get a job somewhere else. Now, may cause credibility issues with peers of other specializations, meaning if you're in a meeting and you're troubleshooting and other professionals don't think that you're competent in what you're doing, you're not going to be looked upon as a subject matter expert, nor will you get the best projects. And this is essentially positioning you in knowing the 5 levels of tech career success and the pitfalls associated with skipping a level. It's putting you in a position so that you don't have to experience what other people may have experienced. I know of a cybersecurity engineer who unfortunately was working a job making $90,000, but the job, they let him go, and he didn't have the general skills to be valuable to the industry. He may have been valuable to that job, but he couldn't go out into the industry and demand that same salary because he was missing the general skill sets required of a cybersecurity engineer. Now, it may cause someone to lose opportunities in the long run. I would say making a high amount of money and then moving and being downsized and then not being able to go back into the industry to demand that at least that same level of salary or more, that's a situation where I would say someone is losing opportunities. And it's unfortunate. We don't want that to happen to anyone. Therefore, we teach the 5 levels of tech career success and the importance of not skipping levels. Pitfall of skipping level 3, specialization. Neglecting specialization will hinder one's ability to make a high salary and potentially limit tech career opportunities. If you're not specialized in something, you're a generalist. And if you're a generalist, there's probably a lot of generalists. There's more supply of generalists than there are specialists. Therefore, when you think economically about knowledge in the economy of tech and in the tech employment sector, what you need to understand is if you're specialized, then you position yourself to be more scarce. Once you're more scarce, your value increases, and your value increases, that means that you can demand a higher salary or at least a fair market value of your salary. Continuing. This is typically caused by a lack of understanding of how the industry works, thinking a job is a career, lacking career vision or career planning. In addition, this is also caused by fulfillment in a job early on, but not considering that the same job may not be fulfilling 5 to 15 years from now down the line. So if you get someone who's been in the tech industry for 15 years, but they started at the same company and they were a intern at that company, what can happen is that person may not know how the industry works and did not get specialized because let's say they were working for the government. As long as you're there and you're contributing satisfactorily, you have a tendency to continue to still be promoted. And in that situation, if someone doesn't specialize, they may have the title of a network engineer. Like I experienced this. There was a gentleman, he had the title of network engineer lead, but I came as a contractor as a network engineer lead. Now I had been in the industry for like 17 years at that time, And he had been in the industry 30 years, but it didn't matter because he didn't know how to operate the network, nor did he know how to lead. So when I got on board, they had equipment that had been in their inventory for a year. What I did was I went in there, I looked over the equipment, and within a day, I had them buying more equipment because it wasn't up to spec. The specifications were incorrect. And he should have recognized that, but he didn't. The reason that he didn't is because he didn't specialize. He simply just had a title of network engineer lead. And once he had a real network engineer lead, he didn't cut the mustard. He really couldn't produce anything. And he became jealous, envious, and very bitter. In fact, he asked me when I figured out the problem and I was putting a spreadsheet together to present it to the technical manager, he asked me not to submit it. But I told him I'm a contractor and I must submit this because if I don't work, I don't eat. And I have a tendency to like eating, and so does my family. So that was a situation that I dealt with someone who skipped level 3 specialization and simply had a title. They were simply, a cloud without rain. Continuing. The tech professional who skips level 3 are usually called a jack of all trades and a master of none. This guy could go and take trouble tickets and go solve problems, but when it came to him taking the heavy load of taking on a project with network management or even leading a team, he wasn't able to do it. That's why they called in a real network engineer lead to be able to take the lead. So that's the pitfall of skipping specialization. It puts a person in a situation where when they're called upon to produce results, they'll be unable to produce results. And in that particular situation, that man who had been in that job for 30 years, it was so, I guess, embarrassing for him or so obvious that he wasn't fit for the position. He retired and he went to go work at a car dealership, driving their cars to get washed. So that was the situation there. It wasn't my intention for him to retire. It was just that when he was put right next to somebody who was specialized, it became pretty obvious to management he wasn't specialized. Pitfall of skipping level 4, industry contribution. Neglecting to test or expand one's professional horizons may cause this professional to feel unfulfilled with their technology career because they usually think they did not reach their full potential financially or did not reach the peak of their technological aptitude. These are people who still have some gas in the tank. They didn't give it all. And because they didn't give it all, they stopped at level 3 and became financially free and decided I'm going to buy a farm and just relax, or I'm just going to go on vacations and travel. They find that retirement isn't as exciting as they thought it would be because most people that they wanted to be around are working. And even multimillionaires, they stay busy working because that's purpose, that's meaning, and people want to have meaning in their life. There's a book I read called Man's Search for Meaning, and the author describes how when you're stripped of everything, the most important thing that you want in your life is meaning. And so therefore, a person should start their life or start their career with seeking meaning instead of seeking money. Because once you gain money and you find out there is no meaning, you'll find that there's no meaning to your money. Because if you think about life, you're not really here just to make money. You're here to make an impact so that you would improve yourself so you can improve others. Continuing. These are people who have become financially free, but could create a company that would enable others to A, become financially free, or B, start a tech career, or C, become industry contributors. So it's important that you give back, because when you give back, that makes your career even more valuable. Because when it's not just isolated to your success and it's isolated to others' success, then that's where people build true, long-lasting legacies. Pitfall of skipping level 5, charity. Neglecting to give back after becoming a successful industry contributor can leave a person unfulfilled or viewed as self-serving. So let's say someone does perform level 4 and now they have contributed to the industry and they have multi-millions of dollars, but yet they have enough for their family for 1,000 years, but they don't want to start contributing to human causes. that can be something that causes a person to have a numb soul, I would say, because if you have it to give and you can't take it all with you, you might as well give it to others and leave yourself a legacy for years to come. Continuing. Mainly because they may have amassed a great supply of wealth or knowledge, but do not consider it important to reach back and strengthen others who are in a position they were once in. And usually people say, remember where you came from, because the people where you came from may still be there. And there are some people there that may want to get out of that situation, or who may need assistance, who don't know how to level up. And if you know how to level up, help them. Meaning, neglecting to help unleash the people who have the potential to accomplish the same level of success as them. These are usually people who are egotistic. They hoard knowledge and don't want to share knowledge because they think that they will be more revered if they keep the knowledge to themselves and not give it to others who could succeed at their level. Now, for myself, I believe that if you give away your knowledge, then you're really a true leader, because a true leader understands that success is in your successors. It's not just in you succeeding. Mindset moment. Change the way you think, change the way you live. The possibilities are numerous once we decide to act and not react. George Bernard Shaw. When a fire starts, perhaps it starts small. And if someone acts, they can just get a fire extinguisher and put it out. But if they neglect to act, then someone, them or someone else, will have to react. But the fire may have caused so much damage, which is why I encourage you to take the initiative. The possibilities are numerous once we decide to act and not react. So I suggest that you take the 5 levels of tech career success and act upon them so that you don't skip levels and end up having to react once your career is burning down. JumpStart IT Academy. Fast track your tech future. I will see you on the next video.